President-elect Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against the Des Moines Register over its final poll of Iowa voters before the election last month. That poll, released just days before the election, had Vice President Kamala Harris 3 points ahead of Donald Trump in Iowa. Trump won the state by 14 points. Trump's lawsuit alleges the poll amounted to election fraud. KCRG TV9's Rebecca Vaughn sat down with an expert from the University of Iowa to talk about this case.
Walk us through this lawsuit between President-elect Donald Trump against the Des Moines Register.
Yeah, so I think the story really starts over the weekend when we all heard that Trump and ABC settled a defamation lawsuit brought by Trump over comments made by George Stephanopoulos. And the settlement was pretty substantial, $16 million. And I think that really emboldened Trump to continue to bring lawsuits against the media.
Walk me through the lawsuit that was filed last night. What does it kind of entail?
Yeah, so this is a lawsuit brought against the prominent pollster. I believe her name is Ann Selzer, and the Des Moines Register, which published the results of her poll that apparently inaccurately or ultimately inaccurately reported that Iowa would go for Kamala Harris. And Trump alleges that this is a form of consumer fraud. This lawsuit was brought under a Iowa Consumer Fraud Act, and I think many legal experts agree that this lawsuit is meritless. Many of Trump's lawsuits against the press have been for defamation. And in order for there to be legal action for defamation, a person's reputation has to be injured. And there's no real reputational injury going on in this lawsuit. So it appears that Trump's lawyers were really reaching for some cause of action that they could possibly fit this set of facts under. So they went for this consumer fraud approach. Now, that statute apparently really is meant to protect consumers against deceptive advertising. So when we're talking about consumers, we mean people who are purchasing goods or services, not news organizations that may happen to report on a poll that turns out to be incorrect. That's not fraud or deception.
What does that kind of say about what's going to be for the future of pollsters or media outlets under this administration?
Yeah, so Trump has made it very clear that he wants to wage war on the press. And one way he's going to do that is with filing lawsuits, defamation lawsuits, or perhaps these consumer fraud actions. There's also a case going on against CBS. Trump alleges that they improperly edited a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, and that this also constitutes a form of consumer fraud, which again is another completely meritless claim. But he is, going all out to make life very difficult for the press, and that ultimately is going to have a chilling effect that I think is very dangerous.
Do you think possibly that there could be more of this in the future, these lawsuits against media outlets?
I think that this is just the beginning of what will be a very long war against the press.
Do you think the outcome of this lawsuit against the Des Moines Register and Ann Selzer ultimately would be?
I predict that it would be dismissed, it would be thrown out, that it doesn't have merits. But again, if we think about the long range impact of this, it could be much broader than just, one lawsuit.